Hey, Mount fans, who's ready for another Mount Athletics podcast? We have come to the other side of campus today here from Echo Field, and we're going to talk to Maggie Myles of the Mount Women's Rugby Program and also take a look at what is ahead for this big week as we're starting to get close to wrapping up the fall season of Mount Athletics with Steve Morano. Stay tuned. Our Mount Athletics podcast is next. Well, we're here with rugby, women's rugby today. My name is Adam Pohl, joined here by Maggie Myles as we're coming down the stretch. You don't have an off season, Maggie. We're going to talk about that. But This is the end of the 15s here as it's been an exciting season. Before we delve into that, tell us about the difference, though, between the 15 season and then your sevens.
Yeah, so the way I always kind of tell people is like 15s kind of is like our marathon, and then sevens is the sprint.
Okay.
You know, so 15s we go for about 10 to 12 weeks depending. Couple breaks in the middle, but generally it's every Saturday all the way through. And then sevens, we gear up mid-February, and we kind of get a little bit more autonomy of what tournaments we get to go to, where we get to travel. But still, that's going all the way from, beginning to mid-February until May. So it's definitely a long road ahead.
Maggie is busy. It is senior day upcoming on Saturday. So tell our fans what they can come out, of course, free admission, and cheer the team on for their 11 a.m. match here upcoming.
Yeah, that would be great. We're honoring 7, 8 seniors during the match. We start announcements at 10:30, so come cheer them on. We're playing Westchester, so always a great matchup, especially with it being local, so we get a good draw. So please come join, have fun. We get food afterwards, so please everyone stay.
I'll tell you, though, that people from afar, you might not realize the tradition of rugby at Mount St. Mary's. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, there's really a big culture around the sport of rugby at the Mount.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that both the men and women, have really done a great job of trying to source that culture and really bring it forward, providing socials after the games, finding the synergy between the men's and women's team. It's one of the only sports that there's no difference between men's and women's in rules. So it's the exact same. So when we talk about what it takes and what we need, as rugby players, we can all speak pretty common terms with it. So it's been great.
What was it like to have our national team here this summer?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I think the draw, the exposure, watching those athletes, just the biggest premier side that you can get, and having it be here, and some of the players from the team being able to watch a lot of their idols, it was incredible. I mean, they are the top tier athletes of the world, so it was a really, really big blessing.
And it wasn't just Team USA. Fiji was here. I went into Patriot. I saw the whole Fiji team. Yeah, it was something.
Yeah, and they graced us with song and dance, and again, that just speaks to rugby as a whole of just it's can be deemed a little bit of a tough sport, but after the match, you're breaking bread and you're enjoying everyone's company. I think that's what makes it so special.
It takes a lot of physicality. So when you're looking to bring players into your program, what does that look like for you from that perspective? Yeah,
I mean, I tell a lot of our, potential student athletes, when you go into contact, that's something I can't really coach, right? That's a mentality. You gotta want to grind that part out. Everything else, skill-wise, we can coach and we can teach. So really finding players that are tenacious, that have high character, high quality. They just want to be a part of the team, and they'll fit right in.
This has been a big growth year for the 15s, right? You guys have a winning record. It's been a big step forward. How proud are you of what you've been able to do this season, overall your program?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the players. They do it. They show up every day. They're committed. I think the buy-in has been something that we're really starting to see take off, and that's been the best part. They come, they want to work, they're willing to work, and the growth mindset is there, and we're seeing it pay off.
And your most recent game was a win against Frostburg.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about a few of the standouts in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we got to see a lot of our newer players, a lot of our freshmen, a lot of our walk-ons that joined us just last season really get an opportunity to play, and I think all of them were standouts in that game.
Yeah.
Just watching them shine, kind of seeing that light bulb click was awesome. So, really allowing them the opportunity to get out there, tie up the boots, and play.
And lastly, it is Westchester here
Yes.
this weekend at 11 a.m. It should be a big crowd. It should be an enthused atmosphere, but they are a tough squad.
Yes.
So tell us about the challenge that lies ahead.
I think whenever we face them, and we face them pretty much every year,
Yep.
it really is at the end of the day who wants it more. Westchester has never ceased to stop playing until, well past the whistle is blown. So making sure that mentally and physically we're ready to just endure, and whoever wants it more at the end of those 80 minutes will be the victor.
Well, Maggie, congrats on a great season. Good luck in finishing
Thank
your
you.
strong as far as your home slate here this weekend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That's Maggie Myles, head coach of our women's rugby team here at the Mount. We're going to take a quick break. We return with a conversation with our Steve Morano as we look back, or look ahead, I should say, at what's upcoming here this weekend in athletics at Mount St. Mary's.
Think you've seen it all? Danny Gurry keeps finding Frederick's hidden gems. Family spots, mom and pops, and can't miss bites. Good Morning Frederick. Make sure to watch live at 9 a.m. every weekday on Facebook and YouTube.
We welcome you back to our Mount Athletics podcast on a beautiful day here in Emmitsburg. My name is Adam Pohl. I've got Steve Morano with me. Steve, I can't believe we're coming down the stretch here of the fall season, but we are. It is senior day upcoming at Waldron for soccer this weekend, and of course here as well for women's rugby.
Yeah, Adam, you hit the nail on the head right there. The fall is absolutely just gone by. It's been a great year so far for Mount Sports. And I think it's just going to keep getting better and better as spring and the winter come along.
So we just got to catch up with Maggie Myles. They've got a big game here this Saturday at 11 a.m.
Yeah, they play Westchester on Senior Day, honoring 8 seniors this year. Last year against Westchester, they lost by, I believe, 7 or 8 points, and then in the springtime they beat them in the sevens format. So it's a really, really kind of good-looking opponent for them coming up.
It's going to be a big doubleheader for soccer. Yes. Winning at home is so important. It was a tough weekend last weekend with losses for the women and men, but they're trying to finish strong here in MAC play.
Yeah, there's still a chance for the men to sneak in there. Unfortunately, I do believe the women have been eliminated, so it's really just kind of coming down the stretch and just trying to get some good results just to round up the season.
Water polo is not in action today, but I know they are busy upcoming.
Yeah, they have a well-needed bye after their California excursion a couple weekends ago. They have a bye weekend this weekend, and then they return home for their first 2 home games of 5. First one being against Iona, and the second one being a MAWPC matchup against George Washington. So it's always rocking when they get back home, and I expect it to be nothing short of that.
But the pool was busy last weekend. Swim and Dive had their first home event, and it was successful.
Yeah, absolutely. The men fell short, but the women rounded out their 21st win in a row against VMI.
Yes.
They're unbeaten against them. A great performance on the relay side with the women, and then Lauren Wetzel gets a win. Emily Myers also gets a couple wins in there. Mm-hmm. So it was a great outing for the women, and heading into the more dual meet action that they'll see. I think it'll be good against Howard when they return home in a couple weeks, and then they have ECACs round about December, so it should be a fantastic little stretch they're going to go on.
So, folks, thank you, Steve. It's another busy weekend ahead for Mount St. Mary's Athletics here on campus. Doubleheader senior day for soccer, women's soccer, and men's soccer at Waldron on Saturday, and women's rugby right here as well. We thank you so much for joining us for this Mount St. Mary's, our Mount Athletics podcast. We'll see you again next time.